Our correspondent Julian Druker joins us live from just down the road, Westminster. Julian, good evening to you. Mr. Sunak claims he isn't daunted, but to most people, you look at the size of that in-tray and it's enormous.
Hi there, Dan. Where does Rishi Sunak start? That speech today was one of the longest first speeches ever made by a Prime Minister, but there wasn't much policy detail in it, some broad themes instead. And in terms of policy, Mr. Sunak is something of an unknown quantity compared to other new Prime Ministers. He obviously did lots of hustings events over the summer saying what he would do as Prime Minister, but so much has changed since then.
He's one of the youngest ever PMs, facing one of the toughest ever tasks. Outside number 10, a 6-minute speech from Prime Minister Sunak. But one phrase summed up everything.
Right now, our country is facing a profound economic crisis.
He's a man in a hurry. Mr. Sunak has to restore confidence in the UK economy whilst balancing the books. The tough choices start now.
The challenge is deciding where the cuts need to fall, which taxes may need to rise in the middle of a cost of living crisis when not just households, but firms, public services are all struggling. There are no easy options here, and it's going to be a delicate and difficult period of economic policy making over the next few months.
Today was about outlining the government's ambition, not its austerity.
A stronger NHS, better schools, safer streets.
But health leaders say budget cuts will affect them profoundly.
We need reassurance that we're not going to see cuts in health service budgets. The government last autumn gave us a settlement, and already because of inflation, we're £4 billion down this year. We're going to be £7 billion down next year. We simply cannot take cuts to the health service unless we're willing to accept a major impact in terms of patient care.
So what about other areas? In her brief time as PM, Liz Truss was pledging to increase defence funding. It's not yet clear where her successor stands. Previously, Rishi Sunak has promised to be tough on migration, but that was all before the mini-budget and money became tighter.
Well, I'm afraid that Rishi Sunak cannot solve the problems that are ultimately the responsibility of the Conservative Party. We had a cost of living crisis before the last few weeks of Truss-induced mayhem in our financial markets. People were already struggling.
Most Prime Ministers are given 100 days to set out their plans, but this PM doesn't have that luxury. Those sombre first few minutes, an indication of what's to come. Julian Druker, 5 News.